Okay, part 3, we're going to mix this beast. So first we want to make sure we don't interfere with our kick. So we need to eliminate any low frequencies from our keyboard and bass instruments that might do that. Let's take a look at the Rhodes. I'm going to turn off the compressions that I've set up. So here's the track with the Rhodes. So I feel like there's a lot of low end on that Rhodes. I can even see it. So by reducing some of that low end, I've made a more transparent mix. What that means is I can really hear that kick clearly. There's nothing interfering with it. And that is the secret to mixing, is making sure that each element is safe in its environment, wherever it lives on the spectrum. So I'm going to do the same thing. The mellotron was kind of up in the high register, was kind of bothering me. We'll take a look at that. I mean, it's naturally a high frequency sounding thing. So giving it a little bit of a low cut makes it sound a little older, a little sort of darker, maybe a little more haggard. Kind of nice. Doesn't interfere with the drums. Okay. Finally, our bass. Where did I put the bass? Right here. Bass, I think I left alone. It kind of works well, I think, with that kick. Okay, so that should give us a little bit of it. That little peak at around 4 kilohertz gives us a little timbre on the bass strings. Okay, so now I'm going to let them all ring together. Now what I'm actually doing is looking at the spectrum at the end with all the instruments present. What I'm looking for is a fairly flat line without any dips or peaks. So I found it a little deficient right here, so I gave it a little bump right there. Okay, great. So now we're going to turn on these sidechaining compressors. To do that, we need to put a compressor on the tracks that we want to listen. And up on the right, we're going to choose kick sidechain. You can also find it here under audio, kick sidechain, whatever you called it, it should show up. So now it's listening. I'm going to turn it on. This is the Rhodes track. This is you can hear it really getting out of the way of that kick drum. So basically I've done the same thing with these two instruments, the bass and the strings. Now what we have is a good ducking sidechain compression. The way to do that is to experiment with these two. The threshold, the ratio is what gives you your compression, as well as a short attack, a short release, so that it can happen quickly. So you can see we're still in the red over here. So if I like my mix, in order to keep the ratios exactly the same, but turning everything down, what I can do is click on all the instruments right here. I didn't even click, this was my voice, so I'm not going to do that. And I'll just turn them down a little bit. It looks like I have to come down by about 2 decibels in total. That should be about 1 decibel for all of these tracks. So I'm looking at this number here, minus 3.2. I'm going to bring it to minus 4.2. So I've taken everything down 1 decibel. Let's see what happens now. Okay, we're still up there on the red. I'm bringing everything down another 1 couple of decibels. Notice they all move because they're all highlighted, and the ratios stay the same. Bring everything down just a little more, and bring up my kick because I really want that kick to stand out. So that about does it. I hope you guys have fun and get some pretty good sounding production stuff going with this. Have a good one.